Today is a Monday, June 7th, 2021. What I'm getting ready to do, it's rainy outside, so I'm up at my mom and dad's barn where we have the cutting torch, welder, and stuff like that right now. And what I'm getting ready to do is we have these old pieces of metal that came off of a dozer and just stuff we've had around. Anyway, get to the point. What I'm going to do is cut this piece of, looks like 1/4 inch steel. I'm going to cut it into sections. Equal sections, equal lengths. And the reason I'm going to do that, I haven't talked too much about this, because of economy, because of other reasons. Let's see, I'll get out here, the wind's blowing. I have decided, mainly because of finances, the cost of things that I was going to have to buy to finish the structure, which I'm calling my cabin. It was going to be a lot more money than to do the plan that I'm going to do now. And I know, the negatives of what I'm getting ready to do and show you negative comments, just things, but this is going to be so strong. Like my parents right now, they've got this. Oh, by the way, thank you for watching Danny Designs. Appreciate it. Please like and subscribe. I get going. Haven't done a video in a while, but anyway, we have these carports that you can get. And you see my barn, and I'll show you my barn later. A while back, when I got my barn, I bought angle iron, and I put it on the legs of my barn, bolted it in just like I did my parents right here, bolted it into the legs, dug a hole, and concreted it into the ground. And just made it solid because the way the wind blows out here, So what I've decided is I'm going to purchase one of these. My cabin is 24 feet by 40. Mine will have a peak. It won't, the roofing doesn't run, I don't know if that's called vertical. Anyway, it doesn't run that way. It runs this way. And just like my barn. And I'm going to sit this on top of my foundation. So what I'll have is already intact roof, and the metal iron roofing that I was going to have to purchase is astronomical now and probably will not come down. So I would have to purchase that anyway. And I would also have to purchase the wood, at least 18 feet long roof joists, no, roof rafters to go across. And I was going to have to purchase all those in my original plan. Sorry about the wind. So cost-wise, it was just going to be astronomical. So I'm able to purchase this structure, set it on top of my foundation that I have right now, which is a wood foundation on the 3 feet cinder blocks, which is concreted into a 2 foot deep, 18 inch to 2 feet deep footer with rebar and all that stuff. So I'm able to anchor this down into that. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to cut some metal. And when I first set this thing down on top of that, all I'm going to have is those holes, pre-drilled holes in the base. And I don't know how far, look at that. This one only has 3. Of course, this is a lot shorter than mine, so I'm not sure exactly when they deliver mine. But all I'll have is those to wood screw, a big wood screw down into the wood to hold it down. So what I'm doing right now is going to cut some temporary 90-degree pieces of iron so that I can set it down on top. This will go down and I'll be able to wood screw a 90-degree, I'll call it a sleeve. And so it'll look like that rebar right there, except it's wider, and I'll be able to screw it into the side of my vertical floor joists. So that will hold it down even more. So I'll have the bolts going through the base of the structure. Let me get in out of the wind so you can hear me a little bit better. And I'll have these 90-degree, I'll just call them plates that are going to hold it down. I don't even know what you'd call them, but they're temporary. So I'm going to set those on top because that's easy. I don't need to drill any more holes at that point. I'll be able to just set that down on top, which will prevent it from, getting an uplift, working those woods. And I'll be able to have however many wood screws going down into the wood foundation, the subfloor, and I'll be able to have these on there. At that point, I'm going to do another thing to strengthen the legs, similar to what I did to my parents' carport and to my carport barn, with those angle iron going down the leg, bolting them in there. The only problem is I can't concrete those into the ground. I'm going to have to bolt them onto the toggle bolts that are anchored with concrete into the ground with rebar and all that. So that's going to take a little bit more measuring, which will take a little more time. So that's why I'm going to get everything ready so I can secure that thing down when they deliver it and start and build it. Then I can do the measuring after it's sitting there and start putting the legs on the structure to give it that shear strength. It has shear strength the way it's built, but this will strengthen it even more. And then from that point on, when I start putting the outside walls on, the inside walls, it just tightens everything up. So, but I need to make it strong until that point. So that's what I'm doing. So I'm gonna start cutting on this here in a little bit, and I'll show a little bit of that. You don't need to see me cutting a whole bunch, but just kind of get the idea, and then I'll show you some finished product. I already bought the angle iron sitting right there, so I'm going to start cutting that and making those into 90-degree legs so that they'll fit on. Let me just show you, since I said 90-degree, I'll show you what I'm talking about. What I'm going to do with the angle iron is this. This is a corner post right here. Corner post. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to bolt the angle iron here. Well, it's going to come down to that 90 degrees right there. Well, what am I going to do from that 90 degrees? That's where I'm going to make the 90-degree leg. So it's going to come out here and up. Bolt it to this. Gives that structure right there strength. Come down, and then where that hole is, I'll take that bolt out. I will drill another hole through the angle iron. I will also find where the toggle bolt comes up that's concreted all the way down into the footer, and I'll drill a hole through the angle iron. I'll drill a hole through this base on the structure, and then I will use all threads that I've already purchased to tighten this down to the toggle bolt that goes through the concrete down to the footer. So all of that will be connected to the footer, squeezing it down tight. But the problem is I don't know where those holes are yet until my structure is delivered. So what you see me doing today, that's what I'm starting to do, is cut all that up into sections, weld it solid where it needs to be welded, and hopefully get this thing done. All right, I'm going to pause for now and get everything. I did not get any live action on that. I will make sure the camera gets on next time, but I cut off that section. It's laying right there. I'll have to grind it up. I'm not very good. I figured that out real quick. This probably took twice as long as it should have, and probably used up more oxygen than I should have out of the tank. We have a plasma cutter. I haven't used it yet. Probably gonna use that for the rest. I may cut one more off here. I'm not sure with this, gas setup that we have. Not sure, but it's probably what I'm going to do. And then I'm going to go ahead and cut the corner sections out of all my angle iron, because those are smaller cuts. So I should be able to cut through it. Little thinner metal, not much. And that way I can heat them up and bend them to that 90 degree, clean them up with the grinder, and have those ready, even though I want these ready also. But and the structure's not going to be delivered for another 4 weeks. Could be longer, but 4 weeks. But you know how that is. Sometimes it's earlier, sometimes it's later. So, but I want it to be ready. But anyway, made some progress. Not like I like progress, but made some. All right. Okay, I'm going to start doing this other section here. This is the piece I cut off earlier. Again, I'm horrible. But there it is. And I'm getting ready to light this up. And when I get it all lit and I start cutting, then I want to come over and turn the camera off because it takes me a while. I'm not real good. That on. Down a little bit. Turn her down like that. Make sure the oxygen's on. Get it. Blue flame. Blue flame's the hot. I'm warming this up. Still got some paint on it. You know, just like anything else, the more you do something, the better you get at it. And I kind of, you know, figured out how to cut it faster. Still not a pretty cut, but it's faster. So, because I'll be able to, you know, grind the area smooth that I need to be smooth. Because this does not have to be pretty. It's a temporary thing. So I'm making some progress right there. So what I'm going to do now, I've decided is, there's the one, there's two. I'm just going to cut that one in half. And then in half that way, that's going to give me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of those L brackets, which is plenty. Because it's a temporary thing, just to hold that thing down in case, you know, a good upwind happens. And it's only on the base, so until I get those legs on there, these are going to be temporary until I can configure each leg, because each leg's going to be different as far as where the hole's got to be drilled or blown, you know, hole through or not, whatever. So anyway, I'm gonna finish this up. I'll show a short video of the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 totally done when I get done here in a second. All right. Well, the good news is, I think that's probably still hot. I accomplished what I was wanting to do. This is what I'm wanting to make. Make it look like an L. Put a couple holes in. It'll sit down on top of that. So that's what I'm making. Some will be that thick. Some will be this thick. And so that's the good news, is my plan is working. My design is what I wanted to do. And then, of course, you got to say, well, if you said the good news, there's got to be bad news. Yeah, bad news, I ran out of oxygen in my tank. So I've got to unhook the 2 tanks, take them in, get them filled or exchanged or however. I haven't even, it's been years since I've done that. Because, you know, my dad usually does it. So we haven't used it that much. Oops, sorry, I'm getting off. We haven't used it that much to run it out. So it's probably been over 2 years, which is fine. Just one of those things that, you know, you get going, you're like, oh, okay, dang it, ran out of the tank. So the good news is I got to go get that done, because I want to make sure these are both full when the structure is delivered, so that obviously I won't run out during the middle of that project. So, but I'll have everything prepped up, ready to go. Looks like I'm either going to be working on that, you know, after I go in to get the oxygen tanks filled up, and it's called Celandine. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong. Get those tanks filled up. And then also, I need to learn and work on the plasma cutter too. I know we have one. Dad's messed with it a little bit. I haven't. So I'll do that, and then I'll continue this video. So anyway, that's going to be it for the day, I think. I'm going to change the oil filter in my pickup. So I'll clean this mess up, pull this up here, change the oil and oil filter in that after lunch, because I'm kind of tired. I'm going to go, that sounds bad, I'm only 50, am I 58? 58, tired. But anyway, now I'm going to go get some lunch, sit down, have some lunch, and then come back up and change the oil and oil filter. And then probably go ahead and take that trip into wherever I got to go get the tanks filled, so that maybe tomorrow morning, bright and early before it gets hot, finish this job. Because I got to have all that. I want to, don't have to, I want to have everything ready when it's delivered, that I can just step right in and get it secured. Okay, don't know if this will be the end of this video series. Probably not, but could be. Thanks. Bye.